Welcome to the Pay Yourself First podcast. My name is Chris Jolly, and I'm on a mission to financially empower millions of entrepreneurs. I want you to make and keep more money so that you can begin implementing and turbocharging a plan for creating financial freedom your way during the life cycle of your current business without spending a ton of time or becoming a professional investor. You see, most of the financial teachings out there are made for employees, not entrepreneurs. If you wouldn't listen to someone who doesn't have kids about parenting, why take business financial advice from someone without a business? Are you ready to break free of bad advice and follow the trail of other uncommon entrepreneurs so you can get from where you are now to the lifestyle you were aiming to create when you started your business? Then stick around. Here comes another episode of Pay Yourself First, where the only investment we offer is the one you make in yourself. Hey everybody, welcome back to the show. I'm super excited to be with you today again. As always, we've got another awesome entrepreneur on. His name is James Elliot. The business is called Unleash Your Power. He's from Ontario, Canada. James, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks, brother. Glad to be here.
Awesome to have you. I know you're going to deliver a lot of value for the audience out there. I'm sure we're going to have a lot of fun as well. So your business, you're a coach. You coach mainly entrepreneurs. You have some NLP courses. You've written some books. You do some speaking. What did I miss?
That's a great nutshell, honestly. Like I said, speaker, trainer, coach. I like to teach tools more than simply coach because it gives people, I guess it empowers people to use these tools for life versus requiring and being dependent on someone else, codependent on a coach, for example. But you got it. Speaker, author, coach, trainer, doing this for over 24 years now, helping people win and helping business owners win.
That's amazing. So how did you get into this now? It's been over a couple of decades. What brought you into this world?
I was with big businesses like IBM, Novell, and Lenovo, and for years, many years, about 14 years. And my job, one of my primary jobs there was to help the teams win and help our business partners, our resellers, our vendors, really help them win. Because when they won and they succeeded and won deals, of course, they buy our products, and then naturally we won. My commission was based on that, on how well people did. So for years, I was helping people all over the world, especially US and southern, northern US and some of Canada. I was really helping people win. That was my job, to ensure people won, business owners specifically. And through mergers, acquisitions, and a couple layoffs, I decided, you know what, nuts to this. I want to be an entrepreneur. I always have been a serial entrepreneur. I had a DJ business, I had a snow removal business, lawn care, and some other stuff, a babysitting business when I was really young. So I have always been a serial entrepreneur. And I thought, nuts to this working for someone else. I want to work for myself now. And it was all around the time too when I started wanting more for myself, looking at self-mastery, personal and professional development. At the same time I got laid off, so I went fully into it. And course after course, I became obsessed. After training and certification, I came out on the other side, a coach, and then very quickly moved into speaker and trainer. I love groups of teaching, and again, more of a teaching, coaching, group coaching kind of style. And again, been many years. I've been able to speak and teach all over the world, both on Zoom and in person too. Done some really cool things. Really taking the learnings I've got from things like bullying, traumas, rejection, health issues, even ADHD, trying to learn in school with ADHD. And all these tribulations have simply made me stronger and more resilient, and really perseverant. And so it's really about navigating tough transitions and helping entrepreneurs navigate these tough transitions and find the resilience and perseverance that I found to get through anything. That way they don't end up like the miners from the 6 foot from gold story. They stopped 6 feet from gold or 10 feet from gold in the story. That's in a nutshell how I am. I came to heal myself. I sought coaching to heal myself. And I very quickly thought, you know what? I love helping people. This is for me. I want to do this. I want to become a master at this, learn as much as I can and use it to help other people. So I went in to heal myself and came out, okay, I like to help others and help others have a kick-ass business they love versus hating, that they own versus owning them. They have more time, more energy, less burnout, less self-doubt, and really, again, scale to 7 figures, getting past these blocks and barriers in their way. So that's how I fell into it.
It sounds like a pretty comprehensive career. Where did the entrepreneurial bend come from? It sounds like even real young, you were doing stuff to make money. Is that something that you picked up from friends or family, or you just awoken inside of you, or how'd that start?
I think that's a great question. I think it awoke inside me. No one in my family ever before has been an entrepreneur. Grandparents, anyone, parents, never. I'm the first entrepreneur in my family. And it's pretty cool. I think I've always had a bit of a disdain for authority or being told what to do, or you have to do it this way, or you have to this, you can't, you shouldn't, all this stuff. So I'd have a bit of a loathing for either authority or rules. I like to explore, to test things and say, why don't we do that way? Why can't we do it that way? What happens if we do it that way? Maybe we'll get better results. So I've always liked and been interested in just exploring and trying different things and if it, breaking something and putting it back together and making it better. I've always had a love of souping things up, whether it's my car or my boat or a sailboat or whatever, a cell phone. Just, I guess, from a young age, always loved exploring and seeing how things worked. So I think that got me into learning more and more. I thought, yeah, I could do this as a bit. I could do this as a business, and just being a fairly personable person as well. I was good with people before and got better at it, of course, with all my tools, but just loving people. It's a great way, I believe, being an entrepreneur, to connect with people, and which is what I love to do. I love to connect and help people. So it just, again, was, I suppose, a natural thing. I've always loved to help people. In fact, now that you asked that, I've always loved to help people in some way. We'll have them have fun as a DJ, help them have a great lawn or those kind of things. As a coach, have a great life and business. But yeah, it was from a very young age. I think it was the loathing of authority. It's okay. I want to do my own thing. Bar should be in my own drum.
That's always interesting to me because you can ask any entrepreneur and their stories are so different. I was similar to you. I was babysitting when I was real young. We grew up somewhere cold like you did. So my sister and I used to go do snow shoveling and we used to bring in $300 a day. And this is like
Exactly.
30
It's
years ago.
great. Yep. Great
It
cash.
was good money back then. But yeah, a lot of people just start young and keep going. Some people are lucky and have entrepreneurs in the family and get to learn
Yep.
from running a family business and all that.
True.
Now, for those of us who don't get to learn from a family business, there's great stuff out there like business coaches. It seems like you've helped entrepreneurs do so many things over the last 20 years. What are you really keen on helping them do now? When somebody comes to you, what is the number one problem you're trying to solve for them?
Yeah, it's a valuable question. Really, the biggest thing I'm trying to solve is helping people be more effective what they do and avoid burnout and overwhelm while, I would say, mastering themselves, aka growing both personally and professionally, and growing themselves. So that way they're more confident, they're less in their head, it takes less time to do things and less time to act and take action. So again, they just get more results, less analysis, paralysis by analysis, excuse me, and just going for what they want, and just ending the self-doubt that has us hesitate or procrastinate, resist, or do something, start and then bail, start and then give up, and start and then give up. And it's often a pattern for a lot of people, starting something and then bailing because of whatever, fear, worry, self-doubt, whatever it is. And there's no judgment because I was there and I did the same thing years ago. But it's just really the number one problem, like you said, is helping them get past their obstacles and the barriers that get in their way to really growing their business, scaling it past 2 or past 7 figures, but also making sure we deal with a person and that self-doubt as well. That's going to stop them every time.
Yeah, for sure. I think I've found unequivocally, it doesn't matter how much other work you do, unless you solve that identity piece, you're going to find yourself doing the same thing over and over again.
It's exactly it. And exactly, unless you change the inside, the outside's not going to change no matter how much you push, how much extra you work and burn yourself out, which I've found the hard way does not work. Burning yourself out is actually not productive as well. In fact, I've often tell people to work less and they often make more money because they have to be more efficient. They have to be better. They have to innovate. I say, your mandate is to work less. How am I going to do that? We're both going to figure it out. And we both do figure out how to help them work less. And inevitably, they do better, they do more, they're more effective, more efficient, and they're a lot more happy and rested too, which again means.
Yeah, that's true. And it's a total mind shift. I think there's probably some of that, the vestige of employee mindset still left in entrepreneurs with that stuff.
There.
I know I'm the same way. Sometimes if I just need to make more money, I'm like, I'll just put in more time equals more money. But then you get in this loop where you can always just keep working more to make more money. And then
Exactly.
you're doing the 80 hours and you're burning yourself out. And then you don't want to do it anymore.
But that's exactly, and we burn out or we quit or we bail, we can't work for a week or 3, we get sick, whatever it is, to your
Yeah.
point. And it prevents us, and our bodies inevitably force us to rest. So you might as well do it anyways. And how are you creative when you're burnout, exhausted, frazzled, stressed? How are you creative to do new things, do things better, faster, and innovate new ways to do things better, faster, easier versus just you're on the treadmill. And like you said, really the only way you can move or grow is to just run faster on the treadmill or stay longer on the treadmill, metaphorically speaking, which is going to burn you out. It's not going to really, it's not a scalable way to make more money. It's not a scalable way to scale. It's a way to an early grave and a hating your business, I think.
Yeah, 100%. It'll definitely lead to resentment. And nobody ever felt great because they burnt themselves out. Or, wow, I did my best work when I was really tired and
Yeah,
not taking
exactly.
care of
My
myself.
best work is when I'm half asleep.
100%. Okay, so now you've got a new program that you're working on launching soon. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, it's a program that's just about ready to go, and it's basically a culmination of my life's work and focusing specifically on entrepreneurs that are some of my favorite folks to work with are entrepreneurs. I have courses that I have people coming that are entrepreneurs, they're business leaders, corporate business leaders, or people really just looking to become more influential, better communicating, more confident. And part of that, to your point, you alluded earlier, is teaching NLP, teaching different NLP skills. And since I love working with business owners, I thought, let me create a course for business owners that really helps them with self-mastery and some other amazing kick-ass things too, persuasion, ethical influence, and a bunch of the really powerful communication tools, really help these entrepreneurs scale quickly to seven figures and become essentially who they need to be through self-mastery to get past any obstacles that come up or are in their way to, again, scale to well above seven figures.
Now, in your work, do you ever find that there's any issue with the business besides the business owner themselves?
That's a great question. Sure, structurally, if a structure, let's say someone is I don't know, one-on-one coach, for example, or they're the plumber and they're the invoicer, they're the estimator, they're the paperwork person, they're the tax accountant person. Sure. Although that comes also from the person. It
Yeah.
comes from either the fear of, is someone else going to screw my business up, get in trouble, mess it up? Will they do it right? Will they do it wrong? Can they do it as good as me? And my answer to them is, if depending on the task, if they can do it 80% of as well as you, but there's one or two or three of them, then are you cool with that? You'll get more done. Or if it's someone like, say, hiring a professional accountant or bookkeeper or marketer or whatever, and they can do the job even better than you, can you afford not to do it? There's often a lot of fear and worry as we grow and outsource, or if we do hire a few people, they tend to be micromanaged. I'm like, stop micromanaging. Hire great people. And yes, check in with them, but let them do what they do best. So sometimes hiring people and delegating and I guess lessening our stranglehold on our business can and usually does result in increased profits and increased time to do what you love to.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know from my experience and my discussions with entrepreneurs, the number one thing that seems to hold them back from getting that extra help and leveraging other people's time, I guess both fear of letting go
Yep.
and they're not sure where to put the money that's coming into their business, especially if you're not like
Sure.
rocking it. Do I need to go get coaching for myself? Should I be
Mhm.
putting this into my retirement fund in case the
Sure.
business goes south? All that kind of stuff. How do you decide in your business when you get cash in what to do with it?
That's a great question. I'm a huge proponent of development, business development, personal development. So a huge amount of my income goes to that. I just see the tremendous, I have hundreds of thousands of dollars literally I spent on growth and personal development and coaching because I see the results. I see the man I am in my business, in my relate. It's just a cool spillover effect in all my relationships, professional and personal, in myself, my confidence, my personal growth, my happiness, even. The more income from my business I put into, I would say most of my money right now is still going into professional development and marketing, reinvesting most of the money into PD and marketing because that's what, I mean, if you have the best business in the world and no one knows about you because you're not doing marketing, well, then you're going to be twiddling your thumbs a lot, waiting for people. Conversely, of course, if you're doing no personal development work and improving yourself and having self mastery, how can you confidently, powerfully articulate what you do and then why you're better than everyone else, why someone should choose you and pay you more than someone else who does something, air quotes, something similar? Because if you can show them you're unique, create trust, rapport, value with them, and influence and persuasion, in an authentic way, they're going to choose you over someone else, even if you cost more, even if you're, I don't know, busier and harder to find hours with. But yeah, to answer your question, I think it is always, I almost always the person because they make the decisions. And to your point, I would even add ego as another reason. Ego, why people they don't know where to put the money, or can I afford it? What is this going to get me? My invitation is test it and find out, see what test. And then to your point, the actual not wanting to hire people because the fear of failure. But I think ego too prevents people. Maybe they want all the glory because look, I did it all myself. I'm doing this all myself. And as the saying is, ego goeth before the fall. So it's sometimes ego also of that, or ego of not wanting to admit they're imperfect, not wanting to admit they're wrong. I say, people, you can be happy and healthy and wealthy, or you can be right. You can choose to be right and die to be right. And oh, it was just me and I'm right. I'll do it my way. Or you can learn from people who've done it before and who know how to do it and say, this is the best way I found. Try this first before you, then you could tweak it, but test this. This seems to be the best way versus I'm going to do everything my way. I don't need help. I don't need coaching. I don't need X, Y, Z. I find the people that say that the most actually need it the most because they're the most unaware that we're probably the biggest bear. We are the bottleneck in our businesses is us, is the business owner.
Yeah, and it's funny too because you can really, I think, tell where people are at in business based upon their reaction to that sort of thing. Because if you look at the people who are the very top, not only are they not trying to do everything themselves, they're not even active in the business. They're just taking a paycheck.
Fair. Fair. Yeah. Or they only do what they love. They do the one, two, maybe three things that they love all day and probably has the biggest impact in money versus, to your point, doing a million things because either the ego or they're scared of someone screwing their business up, which is sure, it can be a legitimate fear. Just hire amazing people. Make sure you have amazing people on your team. And like you said, what do I do? Do I invest in NLP or ABCD or jumping over a fire or what is the best? What are you screaming and yelling? What is the best option to help me grow? And I've chosen these tools, and the reason I still teach NLP after many years, I learned it at IBM 24 years ago, and then relearned it again myself when I started getting into all this. And all these tools I use, including and others, of course, there's a lot of other tools I've learned and developed, but they have the biggest change, the most pronounced change on our habits, our patterns, our beliefs, our inner conflicts. If we're conflicted inside about part of me wants this, but part of me wants to do that instead. Part of me thinks this, but part of me wants that. And part of me thinks I should hire people, but part of me is afraid to do this or that this won't work or they're going to screw my business over. Then we're not taking any action. It's exhausting because we're going back and forth internally like ping pong, just internally conflicted and exhausting. There's zero movement, or if there is movement, we often bail or stop or step back. And that's why I think you becoming a master of yourself and have mastery. That way you can choose the behaviors what you want versus I want to go to the gym, but I'm not going to. I want to call these customers. I want to raise my prices. I want to ask more. I want to have boundaries. I want to whatever. Give people raw and real feedback. I think getting that development and that growth will be literally a transformative growth in their business.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with that more. Now, I want to take you to that far end of the spectrum and ask you about financial freedom for yourself. So let's picture a time when you are at the point where you don't have to show up in your business at all if you don't want, or you're just doing what you love best. The money's just rolling right in. You can live whatever life you want. What does that look like for you?
Yeah. So I think financially, I would probably say 4 to 5 million a year, which technically I've learned you don't necessarily need that. That's my goal and something to move towards. And it'll allow me different freedoms. I already have a lot of freedom. I work remotely. I worked from Miami and Delray Beach in January. I worked from Nicaragua in the Caribbean in November. Last April, I worked from Honduras for 2 weeks and I scuba dove on the weekends and evenings. And I've realized you don't need a ton of money if you want to work from paradise, work abroad, even live there, move there, live abroad, work abroad. You don't need a ton of money. There's lots of ways to do it. And I'm not talking about living in slums. You can do it quite well still. Just avoid the tourist traps. You can do it quite well and live quite well overseas and have a heck of a quality of life. Zoom is a thing, right? As we're doing this on Zoom, right? Zoom is a thing. You don't have to be in person anymore being an entrepreneur, unless you are a plumber or electrician. That might be a little hard. But again, if you're the business owner, Chris, like you mentioned, then you can do that and you just monitor your people here. But to tie back and answer your question, though, really to what you had asked me about business ownership, I'm actually forgetting your question.
Oh, I had asked you what financial freedom looks like to you. So
That's right.
you can live whatever life you want. The money's coming in. What are you doing now?
Yeah. Really, I want the 5 million a year. It's maybe a bit of an ego thing. It's a goal, and I can do a lot and give back a lot for 5 million a year. I can really give back without even thinking and worrying, can I afford this or how much can I give? I can give a walloping amount to people and causes I see fit. I'm a big proponent of the environment and I'm a big scuba diver too. So for marine ecosystems too, I see us destroying the earth. So I can really help people, help planet when I'm making that much because I can do some big things. And affluence can create influence as well. The more affluent you are, you typically have more influence. Now, that being said, I teach influence. You don't have to have money for it. But going back to my point about you don't have to have tons of money to be able to travel, work abroad, especially retire abroad. It's just my goal looks like being able to really work abroad for a month or two or three at a time, continuing to spend summers at the cottage, doing really cool things, really cool expeditions, going off the beaten path, love to travel, love to learn new things. Just all these special things that maybe a lot of people don't get to do when they travel. And as travel, sure, more in style. Would I like to travel and live in a palace? Sure. Do I have to? No. Have I lived in some sketchy places and traveled sketchy? Sure. But again, you don't have to. You don't have to. You can actually save a lot of money without doing that. Living with my special person, of course, being able to travel with her as well is a big thing. And just having tons of fun with family, friends, clients. I'm a big people person, and the income allows me to do that, especially, let's say, if a family member or friend, I don't know, can't work remotely with me from, I don't know, Portugal or Spain for a month or two. I want my friends there with me. I can say, here, come stay in the place and pay for a flight. Or I'll pay for the flight if you're really down and out, because I think this is going to be good for your heart and soul and brain anyways to work remotely. So that's what it looks like, being able to just do things that are courteous, generous, taking care of people, planet, my friends, family, effortlessly, not even thinking about it, and being able to do really cool stuff like, I don't know, buying someone a car that's maybe down and out or impoverished, or just be able to buy I don't know, a single mom, let's say, a car or something cool, doing cool things like that, or giving away products, supplies, clothes, money when I go away overseas to some of the impoverished countries, just really making a huge difference and having a heck of a lot of fun. A lot of fun as well. 5 mil is certainly not required. It's just one of my big goals to be able to your point, buy back even more of my time and do left 2 virtual assistants now, about to have a third marketing company working for me, just doing less and less of what I don't love and doing more and more what I do love, and giving back because I have the time to do it more now, and spending time with people I love. That's the paradise for me, honestly.
Awesome. I love the vision. And I think that it's very clear that you do like to help people. You definitely helped me with a great podcast episode today.
Beautiful.
Before I let you go, 2 more things. If people
Yeah.
want to find out more about you and what you're up to, where's the best place for them to go for that?
Yeah, for sure. So you can go to unleashyourpower.com is a good one. That's the website. A YouTube channel, just search for James R for Robert Elliot. So James R Elliot, Unleash Your Power. That's my YouTube channel as well. That is probably the best. Heck, if you want to drop me a line, James at unleashyourpower.com is a great one. And TikTok at James R Elliot as well. Feel free to find me online. There's different, I'm on Instagram too. I don't want to list every single one of mine, but again, unleashyourpower.com is probably a great way to start. And James at unleashyourpower.com too.
Awesome. And then the last thing is, what is your best piece of advice to all the entrepreneurs out there, or some parting words for them?
Great question. Great question. My invitation is to be open. The more open you are to things, again, you can certainly risk analysis and consider, but the more open you are to, is there a better way to do this? Can I do this differently, better, faster, easier? Be open to advice, especially from mentors, friends. Again, careful whose advice you take if they're not an entrepreneur. You should do this. You're not an entrepreneur. Do you really know? So again, I guess that's another one. Be careful of meaning well friends or egotistical friends, or friends are jealous of you giving you advice if they're not entrepreneurs. That's one big thing. And then number two, like I said, be open to change, growth. How can I do this better, easier, faster, stronger? And maybe the number three would be that the biggest barrier is inside us. We are the bottleneck. Literally, we're the bottleneck. It's much less so marketing, sales, your sales ability, persuasion, influence. And I teach all this stuff too. And trust me, the person is the bottleneck. It's, yes, sales skills are great. Yes, marketing tools are great. Marketing companies, lead magnets, you name it. But at the end of the day, if people don't resonate with you, you're not confidently able to articulate why you do this, why you're better, why they should choose you and pay you more confidently and powerfully, and then take action in your business and not procrastinate or hesitate, then you're going to be limited and stuck. And when you're able to do that, the sky literally is the limit for you. Literally.
Yeah, for sure. So did you hear that, guys? The bottleneck is you. You're the problem. Go ahead and fix yourself, and your business will fix itself. All in good fun. James, I've had a lot of good fun today. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. And to your point, if someone realizes that they're the quote unquote problem, or I guess I should say they're the project, quote unquote, they take back, that gives us power. If it's no, it's not me, it's this, that, them, it gives away all our power. If we realize, oh wait, I am the problem, actually, that takes back all our power. Yes, taking responsibility sometimes can be a pain, but that means you have control.
Yeah, you're the only one that can ever be responsible for your life 100%.
Right on, brother.
James, thanks so much for coming on. Everybody else out there, thanks for tuning in. If you haven't had a chance to subscribe yet, please go ahead and do that. You'll know when new episodes come out. And if you can leave us one of those 5-star reviews, it helps a ton to get the word out there to other entrepreneurs. We will see you all next time. James, thanks again.
My pleasure, Chris.
If you've listened this far, chances are you're an entrepreneur looking to become more financially literate and create financial freedom for yourself from your business.
The Pay Yourself First podcast
is definitely here to help with that. My goal is to continue to share what I've learned about using your business as the tool to create financial freedom. But let's face it, it would take me years to share with you everything you need to know via these episodes. Creating financial freedom is something that most people never even consider, let alone make a plan for or take action towards. It's something almost no one was taught anything about. Doing it as an entrepreneur is even more challenging, especially without support. So if you're ready to get clear on what financial freedom looks like for you, come up with an action plan, and get the support systems and accountability you need, I invite you to consider the Abundantly Infinite Entrepreneur. I created the program to help entrepreneurs just like you get a handle on their personal and business finances and start building confidently towards financial freedom. And it's how you can discover ways to take 10 years off your retirement, add an extra 5 or 6 figures to your portfolio, and finally get clear on what numbers you should be tracking in your business and why. Together, we'll gain clarity around your financial goals and what being financially free would actually look like for you. Then we'll put together a customized game plan to get you there and the accountability to see you through. And by the way, you're also going to get all the spreadsheets you need to run your numbers, lifetime access to the materials, including any updates, and entry into our members-only community. In addition to all the knowledge, coaching, community, and systems that you need to create financial freedom from your business, you'll also receive a free financial assessment, a retirement planning session, and guided meditation aimed at helping you embody the feeling of true financial freedom. So yeah, you can just listen to the free content on these podcasts to help you move towards becoming a financially free entrepreneur. And sure, you'll likely see some results, or you can make the decision to commit to learning, implementing, and embodying what you need to know to create the financially free life you dreamed of when you started your business journey. Click the link in the show notes to answer a quick questionnaire, and you'll be on your way to joining the Abundantly Infinite Entrepreneur.